a very smooth one. I had internet issues and I was trying to introduce us to the commands that are used in Microsoft Teams. And I think some persons were asking questions around how they can use PowerShell and all of that. So the points that was raised, or they were raised in last week's class, was basically to explain to us what is the meaning of enterprise voice and how you can enable enterprise voice. So training is going to be sent, it'd be like a continuation from where we
Sorry, I think we just lost our speaker. So let's just hold on for a while. So it so last week was basically PowerShell, and some of us were asking how to use PowerShell. So first thing, we'll need to install PowerShell module first before we'll be able to even connect to either Microsoft Teams or any of the Microsoft admin center that we want to connect to. That's one thing we need to take note of, because if you want to connect to Exchange Online now via PowerShell, you need to install Exchange Online module. If you want to connect to Entra ID via PowerShell, you need to install Entra ID module. Same with Microsoft Teams, you need to install the module on PowerShell. And like Joseph explained yesterday, or last week, rather, okay, it's back, it's back. So thank you, Joseph. Welcome back.
Okay, Oyimafu, thank you for holding brief. So guys, so today's encounter, like I mentioned, is going to be basically on how to move around the voice part of the M365 admin center. So I'm just going to go to the tenants that we are going to be using for that, and this is it here. So before that, I will just move my community browser to this side. Okay, we move it here. So cmd.ms, we had earlier explained this. So I think I'm really going through a lot as it has to do with internet connection this period. I'm on a separate network again, and I'm still having the same delay in loading. So Oyimafu, do you want to share your screen? Let's use yours for now while I try to balance out with what's happening to mine. I can just tell you what to click from your end, please.
Okay, no problem. Let me just share my screen straight away. Let me know if you can see my
Okay,
screen, please.
yes, I can see it. So just do admin.teams.microsoft.com so that we can go there directly. So the admin.teams.microsoft.com is a way to get to your Teams admin center directly without going through any convolution. But from my experience, I mentioned that the Teams Admin Center takes the longest period to load among all the admin centers that I know. So you may experience a slight delay while that is trying to load. Okay, so you may just go to voice, right? I think I'm already up, but let's just continue with yours for a while. If I feel that mine is a bit balanced, I can just share my screen again. So if you come to voice, of course, you know phone numbers, and before you can assign phone number to user, you need a user to have the phone system license and then the calling plan license as well. So calling plan, if the user is going to make use of Teams, if it's going to make use of Teams as per the calling feature that is going to make use of. Then if you are going to use a third-party provider, then you don't need calling plan, but you definitely need a phone system license for you to be able to carry on voice calling. So I'm just going to do this quickly. Okay, so my own screen is up now. Oyimafu, thank you very much. I'm sharing my screen already. So I want to believe that it is visible to all of us now. Please just confirm that you can see my screen now so we can continue.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, so this part of our conversation today would stretch from the individual as a caller to a service call. So what do I mean by a service call? A service call is a call that is used to attend to callers from outside the organization or outside, making call from your organization to people outside of organization. And there are really two options that you have in that regard. Or if you look at it deeply, then you can say there are three. And those are the auto attendants, the call queue, and the audio conferencing. But for today, we are going to concentrate on explaining auto attendants and call queue. So the first thing is on this list is auto attendants, right? And the second thing that you have on the list is call queue. So auto attendants is that feature that you have in Teams that you call in, and then there's an automatic voice that trains you or that teaches you how to route your call to specific people who are supposed to take your call. While call queue routes your call directly to the people in a particular queue that are taking services in an organization. Let's say, for example, you're having a support queue for technical issues. Then you also have a queue for inquiries regarding maybe sales, and then um, you have other queues for different other services. You can decide to bring all of those queues together and have like a configuration where people call into the org and then they will be routed to take calls following menu according to what is set on that auto attendant. So if you look at auto attendant and call queue, one thing is common among them, and that is that they are not user accounts, but they must have an identity that is integrated to these services. And what is the identity that you attach to it? It is called a resource account. So a resource account is a disabled account. Somebody is making noise. Somebody is really disturbing us. Moderator, please can you check that person and see how you can turn off the person's microphone? So what is here is you need an identity, and the identity that is actually hiding or sitting behind the call queue or auto attendance feature is what is called the resource account. Really, if you want to assign phone number to a call queue, you actually assign that phone number to the resource account, and it is the resource account that you have available in the M35 admin center if in case you want to manage that service. So now we mentioned that phone numbers here, that there are different types of phone numbers. You have the service number and then you have the user number. And inside of the user number, inside of the service number, you have different types of numbers as well that can be example, that can be, for example, auto attendants, it can be call queue phone number, it can be uh, so let me just take you there so that we can just see what it is. Let's say I'm selecting United States. So the point I want you to look at is these types of phone number. So the user subscriber number is the number that you assign to a user. Why when you hear the word dedicated conference bridge or call queue or this, anything other than the user subscriber number, this is actually assigned to a conference bridge, not like to a user directly. And then you have these other ones generally are service numbers. And those numbers are basically assigned to what is called a resource account. So the resource account is what is actually coming in vogue when you are working with auto attendant. So if we come to call queues, for example, before you set up a call queue, one thing you must do is that you must first of all go set up what is called resource accounts. So when you create this resource account, the resource account only needs one license for it to function. And that license it needs is the phone system resource account phone number. But before we go on, we want to look at how or the steps that you would have used to set up a call queue or auto attendance configuration. So unfortunately, we may not be able to finish the setup because of availability of the required license, but we'll try to explain like a bit of what you needed to do if you wanted to set it up. And I'll be able to show you a video that I recorded when I had license that you'll be able to follow through to do the same thing anytime. So resource accounts are non-enabled users accounts that are used to represent system resources. In Teams, you can create resource accounts, and then assign them to voice features such as call queues and auto attendants. So the point I'm saying is that if you want to set up call queue or if you want to set up auto attendants, you need to first of all create a resource account. So you click on add. So when you click on add, you call it M365 community, let's just call it resource accounts. Let's call it CQRA, CQ, call QRA. So the reason I'm calling it CQRA is because, so I may just want to call this M365, because it needs an email address, right? But then it's a disabled account. So now the point is, what domain do I want to have it? I have multiple domain in this tenant. So I may just want to put it here, right? So it will just check and it's good. That name is not in existence. And then the resource account type. So if you look at this info here, select whether the resource account will be used for an auto attendant or a call queue, right? So here is the email address. This is the name, the user that appear in your organization. For voice features, we recommend you put in a display name and user name that helps you describe how it's used. So that's why I'm putting CQRA, because there's also CQAA. So I may want to copy this and hold it. Okay. So now what is here is if I have this CQRA, and then the next thing I'll do is to pick the type of resource accounts I want it to be. Already I'm putting CQ, that is call queue. So I'm going to put it call queue. So I'm going to save. So this is like the first step that I would recommend that you follow when you want to create a call queue or an auto attendant account. And if you look at this, phone number unassigned, license unlicensed, right? And then if you wanted to, if you have like if you have a group of persons, so if you have a group of persons that are maybe your support engineers, and then you want them to be in a queue, and in that queue you want it that when call is coming, it should go to that queue directly. So you can create a team and add all of them to that team, and then you are going to be routing the call to them in that team, and they will be able to make the call. They will also be able to make call outside of their team's channel. So how you do that is you can just come to Teams, and then you come to this add. So first of all, I want to do a call queue. So I've created the resource accounts. And now what I want to do is to create a team. And in this team, I am going to add everyone who works in line with that technology, right, in a channel. So it may just be like the team was existing and I just want to create a channel for that feature. The last time I checked, I think you can only use, let me just quickly ask, can you use private channel for a call queue? Because I remember that something conflicting happened one time. Let me just see. Why you can't directly use Teams private channel for call queue, you can create a call queue and assign it to a Teams channel, which can be private. Okay, so let's check something. Assigning a private channel to a call queue might fail, even if the call queue previously had a private channel assigned to it. I think the last time I checked, you must have a standard channel for a call queue. So we just create a team, right? And then we are going to be calling it M365 Community Call Queue. All right. We may just call it support, right? So we can come here, describe it, and then what type of team is it? This is the team, not the channel, right? So we are going to the display name of that first channel, which used to be the general channel. We may just want to call it. I hope I'm not just going to get somebody confused by that. Let's call it CQ, the general channel, no problem. So now a team is created and it's a private team. So what that means is that I'm going to be able to add people. So I'm going to be adding Paul, and then I'm going to be adding this my guy, and then I'm going to be adding Solomon, and then I'm going to be adding Oyimafu to that team. So that means that to the team we'll have all these people. But let's even say that within that team, right, that we have another kind of we have support, we have so where auto attendant comes in is if, for example, I can add a channel and I want to call this info, right? So I'm just going to add a channel, and then I just want to call it info. So I want to deliberately make it a private channel. Let's see what happens. And then create. I'm going to add two people here, Oyimafu and Paul. So what did I do first? This team was probably existing, but now from here, I created a resource account. This is in existence already. We have info, we have community. So let's just leave it like this, right? Is M35 support generally on the team. Then inside of it, we have info, we have M35 CQ. Then here, we want to add another resource account. And what is the type of resource account we are adding? We are adding, what's it called now? We are adding AA, that is auto attendant. So I just want us to like create this on ground now that we know how to create resource accounts. So I'll just call it AA. resource account. That's what it means. M365 community AA, auto attendant resource account. So if I'm going to call this one, I may just call it M365. I may just call it M365. I don't know what I'm not calling this. I'm not giving like a very, very nice name that will be very, very specific. But let's just move on. This is it. So this was already in existence. So we'll just call it IFIN AA, right? So let it just be like that. And then it's auto attendant resource accounts. So let's see if that picks. I'm going to pick a domain for it. That works. Let's see. Good. So I will just save. So now I've not done anything that you don't know. What have I done? I've only come to voice. I've expanded voice, and I came down to resource accounts, and I created 2 resource accounts, which are the M365 community RA, that is, AA and CQ resource account. And here it is showing unlicensed, unlicensed. Now this only needs one license. And what is that license? That license is called phone system resource account license. So I'm just going to come to my admin.microsoft.com. So if I'm going to do that, so what's that going to give to me? It's just going to take me down to, I want to go to marketplace and then go for that license. And I truly hope that I'll be able to purchase it, because if at this point I'm not able to get that license, then it's just be all about explanations today. But let's see, because my card on this tenant is currently expired, but that license is actually free, but you may just need to validate the ownership of the tenant. So let me come to all products, and then we're going to search for, so it is phone system resource account. So the name keeps changing, phone system resource accounts. I hope I'll be able to search and get it with this name. It may be a slightly different name. Let me remove this resource account. It used to be called virtual user license one time. So that this is it. Microsoft Teams phone system, phone resource accounts is 0, right? You don't need to pay for it. But unfortunately, I may need to check out, right? Let's see if I'll be able to, just get it without having to add my card. You see, it's asking for card details. So even though it's 00, it's still asking for card details. So that is a license I was supposed to assign to. Let me see. I just hope it's going to go through, but I doubt. It's not going to work. Please try again in a few minutes. We're unable to complete this purchase. Let me see. Unfortunately, we have a lot of issue with this licensing this period, because I know I reached out to a few persons and we still couldn't get. But I know that in one of my tenants, I should have that. Just hold on for me. Let me quickly see. Let me quickly see if I get another tenant. We already have that license existing. But again, in that place, I will not be able to get to the end of it. But let me see. Let's see. Let me just show you how that license looks. I'm going to sign in with this. I think that should be among the licenses I have on this tenant. no, not billing. Your product may be here. Seem to come on. Common licenses. Okay, so this is the license, right? Microsoft Teams Phone Resource Accounts. This is the license that we're supposed to assign to that resource account. So I'll just take you to just see how you can assign the license to the account and how the account naturally looks. But unfortunately, I will not be able to push to the end of that account setup because of license limitations. But it's not a big deal, something I can really explain to us and we should be able to get it. And I'm going to drop a video for us. And if you go through that video, you are going to see how to do that. If you have a card that can work for you, you can just do a trial, and then you'll be able to set it up and it will work completely. So I was in voice in the other tenants, and then I came down to, so this is where I know that you can create an account from Teams, and then it surfaces in resource accounts and not enabled accounts. Try for free. I have one already, so I'm not sure. So if I want to even do try from here now, it will still be prompting me to maybe validate my card or something. So, but before that happens, let me just allow that to keep loading. So what I want to do is to create the resource account again quickly and just see how it appears on the, I don't want to do this again. Resource accounts. It's still popping me as though I cannot create it. So there are lots, but let's come back to where we were. And then what's here is I couldn't get that license, but if I come to the M365 admin center now and I go search for users and I search for that display, right, I'll be able to see it here as an account. So if I search for this, I remove the AA and just search for CQ. And I mean, if I remove the CQ and I just come here, you will see that I will have the two accounts showing up here, and the both of them are showing unlicensed. And then if I click through on this, I'm going to have that the account is blocked. So this is the normal state of that account, right? For me to be able to use it, it has to be a disabled account. And then it was from here I was supposed to click here and then see that phone system resource accounts and assign the license to these tenants, and then I mean to these accounts. And from there, I can now come back to this place, right? I mean to here. And then what I would do next is if I want to set up a call queue, for instance, I'm going to come here. So the next thing I would do is to pick up, add a call queue. And then the first thing it will ask me is to give it a name. So I may just want to call it Nigeria M35 community call queue. So this is going to be the name of the call queue. So the next thing it will be asking me is for me to add a resource account. But unfortunately, that resource account is not licensed yet. So that's why you may see that. And I was supposed to be picking it up from here. So even if it comes up here and I add it, but then we are not still going to get to the end, but it's fine that at least you've seen where we have added it. So the unassigned licenses, because we need license in order for us to be able to give a phone number to it. Painfully, that we cannot really give it a license now, but just follow through with the information that you can gather from this demo. So assign call ID. So this is not compulsory. Agent makes outbound call using the phone number on the following resource account. Yes, so this resource account, once it has a phone number, then the user can call out from the team that you have assigning it to be able to reach out to people outside the organization, maybe to put a phone call, a call back, instead of their phone numbers to show, then the phone number of the call queue will be the one to show to the other persons there. So you haven't added your added resource account yet. So you can just pick up that resource account that has that phone number, maybe the same resource account in this case, and just bring it in also. And of course, it's not even picking it, right? But we can move on to, I just want to show you the lines that are there. So if the person is calling into the queue, what language do you want it to speak? So you want to set a language for it so that it will be like the language of interaction in terms of wait 1 minute, somebody will soon be with you. You have to set the language. So let's say the language is going to be English United States, then you do next. So if you observe very well from the very last point, right? The very last point, on the very first point was where you added your resource accounts. So when you come here, right, you have, do you want it that when the person is calling into the organization, it's so painful that this thing, that the license is going to delay us. I mean, not going to make us see the reality of it. It's very, very interesting setup. So greetings and music keep your caller informed about their call while waiting to be answered by an agent. You know the kind of call that it will play and tell you that you are the number this on the queue, you are the number that on the queue. These are to actually set it up. So greetings, no greetings. So if you want it to play an audio, so by the audio you are bringing up, let's say you have like a jingle for your organization. That time that we call MTN and you keep listening to some kind of advertisements and stuffs relating. This is where you can actually bring up that music. But the music must be a maximum of 5 megabytes music, right? And it has to be either MP4, MAV, or WMA format. So you can really choose it from the list of the musics you have, so long they are just I mean, they are within 5 MB, then you'll be able to upload them, right? So this is just trying to play with that music I'm trying to bring. Fortunately, it's within that range and it's just here. So what it means is that if I'm using this feature, when that person is calling in, then the music that is going to be playing will just be the music that I've uploaded here. But if I want to like use a text, I don't want to use music, then you can really come back here. That music is just there for me if in case I choose my mind to use, because it has been uploaded already. So here I can decide to say, welcome to Nigeria M35 community. So Nigeria M365 community, where humanity, is our focus. Something relating. So you can just now make statements that speaks to where you want to go to. So this is the first announcement the user is going to have. And if the queue is open for the call to come in, then immediately you will just come into the queue. Somebody just picks the call depending on the routing configuration, which we are going to see on our next setup. So this is saying play default music, right? There's a default music from, when call is on hold, right? Or if you also want to now bring up another audio for the person to see when your call is on hold, right? It's different from the greeting message. Of course, we can bring in another music, or it can be the same music as the case may be. But in this first one, it was an audio. So you may want to just use this video. Use this audio. The first one was a text. So you may just want to use this audio as why the person is waiting, so that it's not boring. The person just keep listening to music that speaks to your organization or speaks about your organization. You may just decide to do that, and then the next thing is to click on this, and then from here you see now you now add a Teams channel. This is what I was telling you. So now you come to search for the name of the team. So the team here is M365 support. So if you search for the team M365 supports, 365 supports. This is where I was telling you whether private channels were supported or so. So if I bring up this M365 support and I add it, right, it can also ask me now to select the channels. You can see that it is only the standard channels that it is asking me to pick. I created another channel and I call it M365 CQ, right? I mean, info is not picking info. I want to deliberately create another standard channel now, and I'm just going to add it as a channel, and I'm going to call it standard supports. And I want to call it premium supports. Yeah, premium supports. So for Premier Support, I'm going to be making it a standard channel. Of course, just try to learn this now. So if I'm going to make it a standard channel, I'm going to create it. So if I'm creating that as a standard channel, of course, I don't need to add anybody. So it means that everybody in the team is just automatically going to get added to the Premier Support channel, right? Oh, hold on. Oh, I need to also add. That's cool. So for this, I'm adding. Oh, what did I do? No, I didn't select standard, select shared. Let's go back to this, and then I'm going to add a channel. I'm going to make it what do I now call it? I want to call it I called it Premier before, right? I will just call this one Premier Support standard. Yeah, I know, standard. I'll just call it 2. So I have shared. Good thing is I have shared channel. I have private channel. So I'm going to make it a standard channel, please, not shared. So I'm going to click on this. And what this means is that, there are 3 types of channels. There are standard channels, there are shared channels, and there are private channels. And this was covered in the first series of Teams training. So, but the point I want to establish here is that my research that I was doing here, right? So if I come back here and ideally, I'm not sure it's going to pick up what I just created now. Let me see. Let me discard this. And then let me just do back. And then I'll do next so that I can come from front again. So I'm just going to refresh the teams and I'm coming back here. So if I do next, right? And then I'm going to pick on the team. I'm going to pick on the Nigeria M35 community like this. I think this is the name, supports. Is that not the name of the team? Nope. Let me see the name. It's just escaping my mind. Come on. So the team is Nigeria M35 community supports. Okay, M35 supports. Apologies. So M35 support, this is it. So if I add this, so it's going to ask me to, you can see premium support 2, which is a standard channel. And then it's showing me premium support, which is my which is my standard channel, premium support shared channel. So community, which is the general channel. So I needed to be able to establish a point here that while assigning a call queue to a team, while assigning a call to a call queue, you cannot assign it to a private channel, right? But you can assign it to standard channel, general channel, which is also a standard channel, right? And even shared channel. I'm surprised that shared channel is working. So I'm just going to pick it at Premier Support 2, right? So I'm going to do apply. So if I do apply, what this means is that that call is going to be coming here. So as soon as I'm done with that, the Premier Support 2 is going to be having like a dial pad somewhere where you can make call outside of the channel. So I don't want you to disturb your understanding with the fact that we're having issues with license. Just be bold. Let's move on. So the next thing is choose. So this is already done. So otherwise you can decide to, you have 2 options. One is to choose a team. One is to choose a user or group, right? So for this, it's a team that we are going for. So if you can even assign it to a group of persons, like there's not even a team, right? So you could do that. So conference mode. So conference mode, what conference mode does is it controls how calls are connected to call agents, right? While you turn this off. So when you turn this off, a call is connected to a call agent using a traditional transfer. So if you select audio and the call and the caller and call agent supports it, a call is connected to call agent much faster than it uses a traditional transfer. So this is always recommended to be turned. Excuse me, why did I click on that, please? This is always recommended to be turned on. But then if they were Sky for Business online user and having integration with Teams, if you turn this on, they are never going to get calls. So, but sometimes when you troubleshoot call queues issues, it may just be that this is turned off. And sometimes, funny enough, when you come to turn it off, it may just resolve your issue. And some other time, turning it on may just help you. But then sometimes again, to toggle it is just the best way. That toggle it off, allow it, then come back, toggle it on again. It's going to help. So we do next. Now I will have to spend some time here to explain things because this is like the heart of a call queue. So this is what determines how the calls are routed. So routing methods, right? Routing method control how calls will be presented to agents. Now, presence-based routing controls when call will be present to agents, right? And allow agent to opt out if they need to be removed from call distribution. Now, I would explain something here, like clearly and simply. Attendance-based routing. When attendance-based routing is used, right? So what happens is that the first call in the queue will ring all the agents at the same time. But the first agent to pick the call gets the call. So this is clean enough for us to get, but I will still explain it. So what it means is that what this is going to do for us, attendance-based routing, what it's going to do for us is that you're going to have panes now on my screen that I'm going to be dragging over to this side in a minute. So what is happening here? You have an organization like this. I like using diagrams. I'm sorry if you don't like it. So I have an organization like this. My roof is red. Now I have group of persons who are taking the support calls, right? I have them here. There are like 5 of them. This support call. Then right inside this organization, this is I needed to use this. This is the guys. These are the guys rather. So what happens is that a phone call was placed, or if when a phone call is placed to them, the call will ring everybody at the same time. Will ring everyone. But whoever picks the call will be the one that has taken the call. So it's a call center, okay? So call queues are used for call centers normally. So if you are using, excuse me, I just minimized what I was not supposed to minimize. Okay, so attendance-based routing. If, for example, you want to design a call flow for an organization and you are thinking, so this call, the person will ask you, do you want it that when the call comes, do you want it to ring everybody? And then whoever picks it first become the owner of the call. That is, this one is not like the fastest finger, right? For attendance-based routing. Then for serial routing, we know what happened. Incoming call will ring agent one by one, starting from the beginning of the call agent list. So what happens is that the call will come, it will ring this one. If this one ring it and finish, it did not pick it, it will come to this guy. If this guy does not pick, it will finish ringing, it will come to this guy. If this guy does not pick, it finish ringing, it will transfer to this guy. If you finish ringing this one and it is this, and that is serial routing, SR, serial routing, which is in the case of maybe most of those call centers. So the call is not just going to be ringing everybody, but it's going to be ringing. So attendance-based routing and then serials-based routing, or serial, of course, serial, right? Then round robin call is when the round robin is used, each call agent will get the same number of call for the queue or from the queue. What that means is that if this guy has picked 2 calls, what that means is that when the first call is coming, right, that first call is going to hit this guy. It will be registered that this guy has picked a call. The next call is going to hit this guy. Then the next call is going to hit this guy. The next call will hit this guy. The next call will hit this guy. And then if another call is coming, it will not go to this guy. It will come to this one and add it to it, add to this one. So like everything is going around. No cheating, right? No cheating. Then what happens? The next point we explain that. Let's leave it. So that is round robin. And then there is another one, longest idle. Longest idle is when the call is coming. So for that, it's going to be like this. For what's it called? For longest idle, right? It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. Why you not? So what happens is that when call comes, so it is longest idle according to the availability in teams. For example, if I don't want to be taking calls as an agent, I will be available 30 minutes, right? For those of us that are working in support, available in 30 minutes. If case or if call does not ring me and I leave at 29 minutes and a call is coming in at the 30th minute, right? This call will leave me because I'm already off. I'll show you how to go off and go on. It will come and ring this guy. This guy will pick that call at that 30th minute, right? If I went offline for this 1 minute between 29 and 30th minutes, when I return at 30th minute, it will return me to 1 minute availability. What that means is that if this guy has been available for 25 minutes or for 20 minutes, maybe for 20 minutes, and this guy within this time that I switched off, this guy was already available for 15 minutes, right? What happens is that that call, that the next call that is coming after this guy, it will come and ring this guy because it's the longest I do on the call. And then at this, maybe this call came in after 5 minutes of 30 minutes of this one. This one would have been available for at that point 25 minutes, right? When this guy picked that call, okay. And then what happens is that the next 5 minutes, if another call is coming, this guy would have been available for it was 15 minutes. When this one was 20, this one moved to 25. And then from that 25 is what, 5 minutes from here. Then the call also took 5 minutes from here to reach this guy. So this guy would have been at plus 10, 25 minutes. And then this call will ring this guy, right? So if the next call is coming in, the next call that is coming, it will have returned this guy to 0 minutes, return this guy to, depend on how long the call is coming, return this guy to a certain number of minutes. It means that it is only then that the call can ring this guy because he was the longest idle at this point. So that's why when you're having presence-based issues in teams, so there are peculiar issues with teams, right? That you see this icon here, you see me showing green here. This for teams call, right? For call queues, it is dependent on this. It is dependent on this function for longest idle. And if any instance you are away, the call is never going to ring you. And this allows you to, I think your system stays away for, is it 10 minutes, between 7 and 10 minutes. If your system is sleeping for that number of hours, if you're not active on your teams, it will put you away, right? And if it puts you away, your 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 call queues are never going to hit you. That's why if somebody picks up a case and say an agent in the queue is not receiving call, but all other agents are getting calls, please ask, what is your present status in teams? Is it correct or is it set wrongly? People can want to hide from people and they come and put, you are online, but you just come and say appear offline. If you do this, nobody will know that you are online. Everybody will assume that you are not signed in. If you do this and you are in a call queue, and let's say, for example, they are paying you based on your availability for that particular team, or they are paying you according to the number of cases you've attended to, or the number of calls you received, as the case may be. If your status on Teams and you are using Teams call queue is set incorrectly, you are not going to get a call until you are only appearing available. So when this happens, what we do normally is to come here and then do resets. Because sometimes when people go on leave, and then they put their status on away. This depends on Outlook, right? They put their status on Outlook on automatic messaging. What they do that in Outlook, then immediately this is going to be reflecting out of office. So once it's reflecting out of office, when they are back, it shows them available out of office. And once it's showing you available out of office and you are in a call queue, you are never going to receive a call because your call queue works based on your present status, right? So you have to be very, very sure of what works for you. So for most organization, it is longest idle that will work. But some people may want to do round robin so that there is no cheating. You are going to pick the number of calls that you need to pick. Say, for example, your status was incorrectly at one point set, and then these people have picked two calls before your status was set correctly. It will try, because you have picked the least call within that 24 hours range. The calls are going to be ringing you. Moderator, please, somebody's mic is on. So the call is going to be ringing you directly to pick up the two calls so you can meet up with the queue, and then before the calls are again routed to the other members of the team. So if they're asking you attendance-based routing is fastest finger, serial base is one after the other, round robin is balanced life, no problem. All of us will pick the same amount, while longest idle speaks to who is available the longest. And that is how it works. And I was trying to mention that even though there's something that changed here recently, I hope I'll be able to quickly get my hands on that. And that is setting automatic message. It used to be somewhere here. I think when I was trying to do it one time, I saw that there was a change. Let me see if I can quickly, if I don't see that quickly, not interested in anything like that. I come to, this is mail. Let me see. I got a prompt that the automatic message was changed from here recently. It's just hiding somewhere. If anybody sees it, Oyimafu, you can check. Just let me know where it is so that I can use it to explain the attendance, the longest idle. It was moved to somewhere. Don't know if it was here. So if I set it from here, then you will see it.
You can click on account. If you go to settings, click on account.
Yeah, thank you. Is here. Thank you very much. So for here, this is where a lot of people have issues, right? This is where a lot of people have issues in Teams because they would have come here, then let's say send automatic reply. You are not saying they should put you away in Teams. You are doing this and look at my Teams. I'm appearing green available. If I just come here and I say that it should put me away, start me being out of office. This is 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. today. End date. If I don't even do that, I'm just trying to say I am out of office. I am out of office. Then I want to see if I like, I can put also to people outside my organization. I can just put it there and save this. So now I have set automatic reply. So automatically my status on Teams, you see it has changed. So if you look at it, you can see available out of office. You see this thing that is here can cause a problem. Like practically speaking, can cause a very big problem where member of call queue is no longer receiving call. And it will even happen that there are just few members, maybe like just two responding to support. and then the person went on leave, and he came back, and he cannot even imagine that that was the cause of his problem. So you need to know yourself, turn it off. It's upon turning it off, and like I just did, and you see this happening as green before all those story that we are talking about will take place. Otherwise, it's never going to work. So presence-based routing is also talking about when turned off, call will be routed to agents who have opted in to receive call, regardless of their present states. So I think something just changed. It may not be like something just changed, but this thing is here. Sometimes it's deceitful. So ideally, what they are saying is that when turned off, when you turn this guy off, present-based routing, that regardless whether, like what I've been emphasizing, that whether a user is offline, whether is away, that the call is going to ring him. But from practical experience, I can tell you for free that the last time I checked, this was a very big problem. You go and check, they say the call is not ringing. Is the presence base turned on? You say yes, because this is saying that when turned off, calls will be routed to agents who have opted in to receive call, regardless of their present state. When turned on, opt-in agents will receive call only when their present state is. Look at it. What are they saying? So when turned off, right? Off, calls will be routed to agents off. Remember, who have opted in to receive call, regardless of their state. That is, if it is turned off. But when it is turned on, right, which it is now, that agent will receive call only when their present state is available. This is what this is supposed to do. So if I want you, irrespective of you being away, you being active, or you being available, or you being away or being available out of office, that the call should ring you, right? I'll just turn it off. This is how it is supposed to work. But trust me, sometimes I don't want to say most time, this does not really take effect. It's just advisable that you make sure that the user's presence is set correctly at any instance in time, just to avoid troubles. Right? So agents who use Skype for business clients will not receive call when longest idle or present-based routing is enabled. So Skype for business clients, that is like a talk for the previous. So Skype for business is still available, but on premises. Skype for business online was retired since 2021 August. So call agents can opt out of taking calls. So when you are tired as an agent, you can decide to say, oh, I don't want calls to ring me again. So if you turn this off and a call agent gets a call, they must answer it. If you turn it on, each call agent can choose whether or not to answer an incoming call. So this setting is very funny. So if this is turned off, right, call agents can opt out of taking calls. So if call is ringing, you can decide to drop it. You don't want the call. But if this is turned on, if this is turned on, right, you can decide to drop your call. You don't want to receive it. But if it is turned off, you must take your call. You must. So if you turn it on, each call agent can choose whether to answer an incoming call or not. Otherwise, the call is yours. You must pick it. Call agent alert time. See that time where the call will be on the queue, right? This is where you set it. Let's see what the maximum timing is. 180 seconds. So what is there again that I want to show you? So call up here, let's call and request an automatic callback instead of waiting in a queue. So I think this feature is pretty new, right? So what is it supposed to do? So set up here to let caller request an automatic callback instead of waiting in a queue. So this is what this is going to be doing, callback feature. So that would be nice to check out. This is very new. So enable callback. So let caller request an automated callback instead of waiting on a queue. So you can turn it on. So if you are turning it on, then it means you need to do some configurations here also. You can put them greetings messages again. Like I mentioned, this part is also new. And then you can put a greeting message. Then key to press to ask for callback. So you can set that particular part of your key, then this is looking like an auto attendant. Then where callback could not be completed, what do you think should happen? Should send an email, right? You can create an email where this is just going to be like an alert to the group of persons that, hey, you missed a callback or something. So I think this feature is very nice. It was not here the last time I checked. So you can also try to check it out. So we've done the, if there are other exceptions, this just like more details I may want to check when maximum number of call is reached on the queue. What do you want to do? So the maximum number of call is like this call flow part is this person is calling, this person is calling, this person is calling. You know, at one point you hear you are the number 5 on the call. Then after some time you hear you are the number head on the call. So what do you want to happen? Do you want it that when this call, like you can set between you can choose a maximum number of 200. So let's say, for example, you want just one call on the queue. Let's see what happens. Just one, right? Then let's say you want 201. It means it's not possible. So you have to be 200. So the maximum number of call on the queue, you may just want to say 10 for you. Then the question is that if 10 people are calling that your call queue at that instant in time, when the number 11th person is calling in, what do you want to happen to that 11th call? So that's where they are saying when the maximum number of call is reached, then what do you want to happen? Do you want it that the call should be disconnected? You can say yes, call should be disconnected. Do you want it that nothing should happen, the call will just be waiting? Or do you want to play music for the person? Or do you just want to say, hey, we have hit the maximum number of call on the queue. We have reached the maximum number of call on the queue. Please try again later. Maybe something like this, right? Or you can say no, you just want to redirect the call to an individual in your organization, person in your organization. It can even be another call queue. So now this is where the setting is. You can say that you want person in your organization. So but the person you have to select here has to be somebody who is enterprise voice enabled. So if I search for myself, now I'm not going to see myself because I'm not enterprise voice enabled. And even if by miracle I see myself, it's not going to work. No match found. Look at it, as only enterprise voice enabled users are supported. So I can't pick up that call. So if I want the call to be forwarded to another call queue, which is like the better option, then what I would do is for me to pick a voice option. So what it means is that I'll have to now look for another call queue, and then the call, when they reach 10, the 11th call is going to be routed to another call queue within the organization. Or do I just want it that once the 10th call is there, and then the 11th person calling should be disconnected? This is a very bad setup, right? So you can really do some level of granularity as regards the call flow. That's the number of call overflow, rather the number of calls that should be on the queue. So set the maximum number of calls that can wait in the queue at a time, and how you want to manage new incoming call after the limit is reached. So this is what you're going to be doing with call overflow, and then you choose what to do. Which the best option I can say here is, for example, they can be like a queue manager, right, that you want to be routing the call to. But the point is that if you are routing the call to a queue manager and it's just one person, then what if another call overflow at that 11th, the 12th one is coming? Then it becomes a problem, right? So that's why it is better that you can just quickly route it to another phone number. You can also, to another call queue on that voice app. So for voice app, you can turn that call to auto attendant or to call queue, and then you can also do like another resource account or even external phone number, right? So you can also do via voicemail to personal voicemail, right? So that you just send a voicemail. So you don't tell the person, hey, please record your statement. The call is filled up right now. You just need to say what you want to say or speak about whom you want to talk to, and the call will just send a voicemail to somebody. So you can, if it is personal, then if it's a shared voicemail, like to a call group, email address you want the mail to be delivered to, you can just do that, right? Then for external phone number, you can decide to really now choose the country. Let me see if my country is there, Nigeria is there. It means that I can decide to set my phone number there to say, okay, oh, if that call has hit this, then the call come and ring my phone, my local MTN phone. Let me pick the call. And here, that is for external phone number. So good thing there are Nigerian numbers there. Then for voice app, there for resource accounts, I mean for call queues, for resource accounts. So you can also send it to the resource account that you can set it to. So but for me, just so we can move on, I'll just say disconnect. And then this call what's it called? Call timeout. So this is just talking about set the maximum amount of time that the caller will wait in the queue, and how you wait, you want rather to manage the call that exceed the maximum timing. So that maximum timing that you have set already. So when the call agents are available, right? So apply the settings to, for new incoming call. You can turn that on, and then you can say, okay, you want when an agent are available, then when it is not, or if you want to disconnect, if they have waited for longer time. Now the call has been able to accommodate them, right? But the call that the agent are currently on prolonged or took a longer time. So no one was dropping off for this call for the agents to quickly pick on call based on the call routing that was configured, right? Then what do you want to happen? Do you just want to disconnect? Because it's this very annoying where you just got disconnected. But I think it's better if you can just come here to say, please, so the call is taking longer than usual. We encourage you to just hold on, that an agent will soon be available. You see all those settings, they are just words of typing, and you can do that, right? Then if that happens and then you want to redirect the call to say, okay, instead of just making them wait and telling them what to do by typing it here, you just want to redirect the call the same way that you did up there. You can also now put it to somebody in your organization, put it to a voice app, or connect it back to voicemail, personal voicemail, or a shared voicemail. And then, or you can decide to put an audio, which I don't think it makes sense at this time. Like somebody has been waiting for a long time only to come and listen to music. So you can really design like a very nice call flow that is so business centric and customer centric, right? So you can do like a very nice setup in Teams. Like that's why one would say that Teams is. So once all of this is done and we've done all of it, this is authorized. This is right optional, right? So user list here, assign the voice application policy to make changes to call queue and all of that. So if I hit on submit, one thing, if it doesn't work, there's one thing that is just holding it, and is the license and the phone number that we've not really assigned to it. So that's how call queues are configured. And if you like to do stuff like this, you'll really enjoy it if you just take your time, get so it has analyzed it and the call queue is available, but it's not going to work. The reason is because it is, look at it here, the resource account is unlicensed and it's sweet, right? It is straightforward. It is nice for you to have like a catch on and look at it. So this call queue will have been ready, and the call queue will have been engaging the people that are in this support call queue too, right? So that means if call is ringing, to just ring the support queue based on the call routing policy. I mean the call routing configuration, and then it's just going to ring them. Now, what is the other option for service calls? Another service call that we have really is the auto attendance, right? Auto attendance is a big topic of conversation. So for those who are in the UK, you know, calls, there are engineers that are just employed and all they are doing is to be configuring these call queues, auto attendance, and troubleshooting them. They are voice solution engineers. They call them VOP, that is voice over internet protocol engineer. So it's a big field on its own that if you are a Teams person, you can decide to just sit back and work on Teams, and you are going to like, your designs are going to be making sense, a lot of sense to you. And honestly, you would appreciate to have done that right? So auto attendant, what are auto attendant? We've looked at call queue. Call queue is having a group of person on the queue, and the call is just coming blindly and just waiting for them to pick, right? But for auto attendants, you are going to be listening to an automated voice, and the automated voice is just going to be directing you on what to do. So auto attendant lets people who call in navigate a menu system, so they can be connected with the right departments, right person, or the operator in an organization. So when you create the auto attendant, you will choose your greetings, just the same way you did in call queue. You set your menus. You set your menus that would choose which queue. So the way it works is you can have, let me just do something like this. You can have call queues. Of course, you know what call queue is now. You can have call queues, right? Different call queues. It may just be like this, excuse me. So it may just be a call queue that you have a number of them, and then you have the auto attendant here. The auto attendant is here, and then the caller is going to be, the person calling is going to be making the call from here, right? So if this person makes a call and the call is coming to this auto attendant, right? When the auto attendant comes, this is call Q1, this is call Q2, this is call Q3. So this 1, 2, 3, the call Q1 may just be for support, right? Support. This one may just be inquiries, and then this may just be for what do I call it? Sales. So what happens is that when this guy initiates this call, the call is coming through to this. When it gets here, we tell him press 1 for support. So when he press 1 for support, when he presses 1, then 1 comes here. Then it will say press 2 for inquiry. If this person's option at this point is speaking to 2, then it means that the call is going to this. And then if it's picking 3, it means that the call is coming to sales. Now, what happens here is that the best configuration is for you to have like here to be call queues different, so you can build call Q1, call Q2, call Q3, and those your routing rules that you are using, maybe serial routing. Serial routing is that okay, when this call comes into this auto attendant, remember this is an AA. This is a caller. This is AA. AA. This is a caller, right? This is a caller. These are, don't mind my writing. These are call queues. So this is like call queue. All of them are CQ, right? CQ1, CQ2, CQ3, as the case may be. Now, what happens is that when this guy makes this call to the AA, so why it is AA is that there's an auto attendant. So this guy automatically attends to this guy's call to speak. It can just write a music for him here. And then I ask him, do you want to reach out to support? Then the support will just come to support call queue, right? So that's why, and the support call queue now will now based on, so the support call queue can have people inside of here. So it can be like this. Support call queue can be like this, right? So when this guy rings this call and the call comes into this call queue, I mean to this auto attendant, the auto attendant will say it should come. Now, if the call queue here is configured to be a serial routing, then the call will ring this guy first. So if another person is calling from here and is saying support, then the next call will ring this guy, right? Serial routing, no serial routing, everybody. Then who picks first will be the owner of the call. I was talking about what's it called? Round robin. So round robin will now bring it to this guy, and then the next guy, and then the next guy. Then the longest, the what's it called, the attendance-based routing, we now come to talk about. Depends on that configuration. That's what I mean, right? From what you understood from the call queue, it will still implement in this call queue. So it means that at this point here, the work of the auto attendance has ended and is now routing the call to a queue. So if the next person that is coming is saying that they want to talk to, they want to make inquiries, and then there are just line of managers here that can provide, or receptionists here that can provide that for. That means that whatever call, because this person does not need a technical support, the call is coming to this place, right? So just the same way you call MTN. So all of us have this experience. It's not something that is virtual, kind of. So coming here again, the same thing happens here. So it depends on the call routing that was set up. So I must mention that it is possible also that you are not routing this call like to a group of persons. You are just saying that, I mean, that is just to an individual. Maybe this is your like your head of sales, or maybe it's a small organization, and then this person, and then this person. So just one person. For sales, press 1 and the call is coming to Ojo. For support, press 2 and the call is coming to Mohammed. For sales, press 3 and the call is just coming to maybe Jonathan. So it can happen like that. Then you can also now configure that from the auto attendance setup. You can now say, okay, if this person does not pick the call, if these calls are not picked, then what happens? You should redirect the call to another set of call queue. So this is now where your own innovation comes in. You can decide to route the call to another set of call queues, right? So that the call again will just forward to another set of call queue, or you can decide to end the call. And then you can decide to set also when you are available. So one of the good things about call queue, while we're setting up call queue, we did not see something around holiday messages. No, nothing. Right. So when you are setting up auto attendance, you can decide to set up holidays period to say when you're on holidays, you should close out this call at this point and just make an announcement that you're on holidays. Then for auto attendant, the reason why you don't want to just go ahead and use call queue directly, the reason why you have to go to auto attendance to route your call to call queue is because from the auto attendant, you can configure your work hour to say your call should be available, or your callers are only available between 8 and 5 p.m. so that any call that is coming by past 5, the auto attendant will speak to the person that the callers, I mean, the people or the organization works between 8 and 5 p.m. Please try to make a call again the next working hours, and an agent will be happy to attend to you. So beyond what you saw in call queue, that you did not see like holidays messages, you did not see work hours. So you can use auto attendant to handle this kind of features. So because somebody want to say that there's auto attendant, there's call queue, why would I not go for call queue? Why going for auto attendance? Or what's the difference? What is an advantage of one over the other? The advantage of one, of having the both of them, is that when you have an AA, that you are setting your call, you can route your call according to how you configure the call to route, and then you can take care of those ones with your call queues to route your call to multiple people instead of just routing it to one person. And then you still use the advantage of auto attendant to route the call based on the keypad or maybe the instruction. They can even take voice, right? You can even voice input can also be used to call the person. So you can even say support to your call auto attendant, and the call will just be routing to support. You can say inquiries and the call is just going to inquiries. And then you can even set it also that somebody can call somebody's name, and then the call will be routed to the person in a call queue. You can say Mohammed, and then the call will just go through to Mohammed directly, right, on that queue. Then, but then again, in call queue, you can see that we couldn't capture like holidays period. You can capture holidays period, handle out, I mean, close of business hours. And then you can decide to also configure that calls that are coming in after your close of business should be routing to particular set of people. Like the architecture is so sweet to set up, honestly. So I just want us to see how that looks. I'm just going to do this. Let me be sure that I'm still talking to people. So let me drag this here and see that I'm not alone. Okay, cool. Thank you. So Now, while we were working, we had earlier created a resource account, and that resource account we created was for two purposes: the call queue and then the what's it called, auto attendant. So it is the auto attendant call queue that will be able, I mean the auto attendant resource accounts that will be able to put in. So just watch through the demo. So I'm clicking on this, so I'm calling it, I think I called that one Nigeria M365. I will just call this AA, right? So this is AA is auto attendance. So now operator option. So if you want to set up an auto attendance to manage a call, I don't want to even select anybody to manage this call flow. Now look at it. When I was setting up call queue, one of the first things I did was to bring up the resource accounts, right? But in auto attendance, the reverse is the case. It's going to be like the last part of it, of the setup. Like the last time I checked, everything is changing though. So, but we'll go through it. So set up auto attendance to manage the call flow for incoming call. So I'll just do this, and then so I don't need this, right? I mentioned. So now you see why one very good thing about auto attendant is that you can set your time zone. And why are you setting your time zone? And why is it important? Is it compulsory for you to manage your time zone? Is because we want to have this call set to your work hours. So I cannot come to say, okay, I think it's Central Africa or something. I think is it West Africa or South plus one? But since it's just something of a test, if I don't see it on time, I'll just put this is +8 plus. So you can really check for your time zone. Like I mentioned, the reason for time zone is because you want to. So this is if somebody is on that queue, do you want what language? So I think we had earlier seen this English. So you wanted to pick this UK English. This is what I was telling you about the voice input. You can really call people's name. Caller can search for others in the organization using their voice. So if you turn it on, people can really call people's name who are in that auto attendant, and it will ring them. Now this is where it becomes a bit interesting. Now set up the calling experience for your organization. So write or record the greeting message to advance. So this is more like what you did in auto attendant. But the good thing is here you can put no greetings, play audio, the same thing, right? No difference. So greeting message, you can really put it. You can say no greeting at this point. Call routing options, right? Look at it. Look at what the difference is. This, which is what play menu option. So for this play menu option, you can now say okay. You can now say okay. You want to add key, so you can assign key, right? And say if somebody presses 0, let it the voice command. So it's going to redirect to. So you are going to. So how you're going to do it is you come up here, right? So you come up to this greetings message, right? And say add greeting message and say welcome to Nigeria M365 community. Then you say press 1. I think I need to put M here. Then you say press 0 for support. Then you say press 1 for inquiries. Press 2 for sales. So something like that, right? So what you're now going to do is you by yourself will now say 0. What you do is you now go to not person in my organization, but of course I mentioned you can do that. So person in my organization is that you're taking this option here. You're routing the call to one person. But if you're routing the call to multiple persons, you are going to voice app. And then what you're going to do is for here, you now search for that call queue. So that call queue we created, I think it was Nigeria. I'll cancel it and go and look. Okay, this is it. M365 community. So that means you are picking that call queue. And you can really have like several call queues that are created for several things, right? You can have another one created. So you can add multiple menus to it. Then what happens is I hope I should be able to delete this now. Okay, since I've not typed, I think I can move on without an issue. So you can actually pick those call queues. You create different call queues for different functions and you pick them up here to move that. And then the next thing is you can also do die by name, die by extension, right? So we do next. I hope it's going to allow me to do next. I don't know why. The reason I'm not able to do that is because of this guy here. So I'm just going to put it the same thing. Let me see if I can go on. So you can even route multiple calls to the same call queue. So it depends. So I'm going to do voice app. I'm also going to do M365. 365. So I'm just going to do that. So I think something is missing up there. Everything should be good. Play audio. Why am I putting it in play audio? Play menu option. Yes. What else? I think call routing option. Yes, I'm good. What I'm doing is correct. Oh.
So
Hold on. I think I've seen it. Don't worry. I'm just going to put it as call routing option. Add bits. Also, what I have here was supposed to be down there. So if I say no greetings from here, I can decide to do that. Then for this, my option here, I'm going to put it here. Yeah, that I can move on. So this is where it's actually going to pick these keys from. So I'll do next. So I should be able to move now. So yeah, this is the sweet thing that I was mentioning, that you can decide to set your business hours. So before now, like some time ago, it used to be like one unique time, like only one. But for now, I think recently, you can now decide to set your different work hour on different days, and it's set at default to 24 hours. So you can say, okay, on Sundays, you don't work all through. So you can remove Sunday, right? You can remove Saturday, and your work period is now, that means that these are now going to be immediately tick as your after work hour, right? Your after work call flow will be controlled. Sundays will be controlled alongside with it. Then for Mondays, you are working 8 p.m., 8 a.m. So you can really come here to say you are working 8 a.m. Your work starts at 8 a.m. and then you close by 5. And then you close by 5 p.m. 4, 5 p.m. So you can really do that. So you can really set like your different work days. What am I clicking? You can really click your different work days to speak to like your normal work hour. Now, what this is going to do for you is that it will now tell you that what happens if someone is calling after work hour. If you have business hour set up, you also need to set up call flow for after business hours. So what do you want to do? Do you want to just add a greeting message? This time you want to say, we work 8 to 5, Mondays to Fridays. Please call during business hours or something related, right? So add a greeting message. So do you just want the call to drop? You can do that, which is not like a good architecture. Then call routing option. What's this talking about? So you can also redirect the call I'm not really sure why this is still coming up here, but let's move on to the next and see. The place I want to look at is the holidays. You'll see this very, very nice with auto attendance. So set up holidays for your organization is required. But if you want, so look at it, set up holidays for your organization isn't required. But if you want to answer call for several days or week when your business is closed, you can set up a new holiday to play greetings message for the dates you want to set up, how to redirect calls to correct place. For example, you can add holidays for Christmas with the dates this and this, or for New Year's this. So you can add. So now in your holiday settings again, you may just want to call it Ramadan is about the corner, Ramadan, maybe, right? And then you can call it it's one holiday now, right? So it's holiday add. What is it saying? So I want to also call it Ramadan. So I will now have to fix the dates, right? Pick my calendar. I don't know what that date is, but I'm thinking maybe it's around month end. Don't know. So when is it going to end? And then it's going to be 31st. This is Monday. So I'm going to do it this way. So I save, right? So I'm picking up my holiday and I'm picking Ramadan and I'm going to call it Ramadan. And then I'm going to now put, if I want to put in one Ramadan music, I can put it there, right? But if I just want to add a greeting message to say happy Ramadan or something, happy Ramadan. We are currently on holidays and happy to come back to serve you as always. Always, just your marketing people can help you with all those customization. So that's it. So once that is done, you can save your holidays settings and then you do next. And then you can put your die scope if you want to customize that. But I think the places that are so interesting for me, I've shown that. You can see the last point is where you add your resource accounts. Remember that we had resource accounts that we mentioned. We just called it AA. It should come up now. Yeah, that's it. That's why it is important for you to name it correctly. So once that is done, you add the resource accounts and then you do next. And then that should be about all. So if you want to authorize someone, that person has to be like an enterprise voice enabled user and you can save it. So let me just quickly bring up where we can have like a full existing one to try. So I'm just going to drag this here and I'm going to reshare my screen and I will share with audio just so we can watch one that I did when I had license. So YouTube, just going straight into that. I hope I'm just going to get it very, very quickly. So thinking I should just show you call queue first. Videos. Unfortunately, we reached out and we couldn't get licenses for now, but it's fine. I know I did call queue not long ago. I think I even have a playlist for Team's Voice, but let me see this one first and then I'll look for the other one. Apologies if it's boring for me to start scrolling through. I also have copied it down. Okay, this is one. This is for call queue. So I'm just going to share. I'm going to copy it. Just going to copy the link. and then I will reshare my screen. I will put that in. I will allow audio when I share again. Share screen. Yeah, okay, I even included audio. Okay, so let me drag this here so that you can just see how what I just did, how it manifested. This for call queue. Okay, let me do this. Can you see the calls coming in? Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing. Don't mind it too.
Don't skip the opportunity to study abroad. With the Duolingo English test, we can make this process a lot less.
Can you see the calls coming in? Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing very well today. My name is Joseph. I am a Microsoft certified trainer, and today we are going to be diving right deep into call queues. So, call queues help to route call requests that are coming from my, and then I will license. I'm just going to go support. These
call
were
queue,
right. Pillar
explanations that
support
we are
queue
done.
is okay. So we come to Teams on the sign-in page, and then there is icon up here that is showing plus. So this is join
So
or
this is
create
when
a
I was
team. So
trying
we
to
click
create
on
a
it,
team, which
and then
we've
we'll
done
come to
today.
create have the license requirement. Okay, so guys, that is very important. Okay, so having said that, the next thing that we want to do is to create a resource account. Of course,
So
that's
this
the
is where
next
we
step, right? To
created
create a
resource
resource
accounts in our
account.
today's
So
call.
let's go on. Where do you create a resource account? You create a resource account from the Teams admin center. So you come to the M365 admin center, then you go to show all, and then you're just going to click on
So we did this.
65 admin center, and you come to active users.
So this is where I
Okay,
search for
so if
the
you come to active
resource
users
account.
and you do a refresh from here, that account that we created, the pillar support RA, should now show up under active users, but the sign-in is blocked
So I
because the
mentioned
resource
this
account
also,
needs
and
to
the
have
signing is going to be
blocked
disabled.
sign in. Just in case there are issues, you should know that it should not be enabled for sign in. That is one of the requirements. So we'll just kind of quickly paste this pillar support and bring up that account. Hopefully that's synced to this place. Yes. So if you click on it, it's going to show you that the user type is blocked. I mean, the
So
sign-in type
showed
is
this
block
earlier.
services, so, but that's not covered in this, but it is very simple.
So this
It's
is
going
me
to pull in
licensing
and you can
the
just pick it up. So let's move
resource
on. This is the
account.
license we are giving it. So we can just click on this,
So this is where we
and
had
then
our
we should have
issues.
this license assigned, and it's expected that when we come back to this place, then the licensed should now be licensed. Then we should not be left with phone number. I will show you how to get a phone number also. So it has been assigned to this. So let's refresh this admin center and also come and refresh this one as well. So when both refresh, then we should expect that the license that we gave it to from the M365 admin center should sync immediately to the Teams admin center. So let's just keep our fingers crossed while this loads up.
So that is the accounts being licensed.
Okay, so Pillars support resource account is now licensed but has no phone number. So that's why the next step we want to do is to obtain phone number. Okay, so how do we obtain phone number? We'll come back here, right? So we'll come down to voice again, and then we'll click on phone number. Now we have option to add a phone number on add, and then we describe the phone number that we want. CQ, and then we can just copy the same thing and then put it here. Yes. So what region do we want the phone number? All my users are in the United States, so I just do this. And then phone number type is very important. You have to now check user subscriber. No, that's for a user. Call queue to yes, this is what we are looking for. And then the next thing we do, we have 4 left according to the license that I have. So I will just pick one just for the purpose of this demo. And then what I will do next is the city. This is about the emergency address. So I have an emergency address set up as Contoso emergency address. So I'll just put that there, and then it should help me now ask if I want to search the area code 425. That's what's available for me. So I'll just do next. And this will say, thank you for your patience. We are reserving the right number for you. So let's just wait for this number to populate. Okay, so the phone number is here as ending with 307. So if this number I'm not okay with it, I will wait for this countdown to occur, and then it will go back to the number pool and bring up another one for me. But since I am fine with this, I don't have a preference for this, so I will just click on place order. So just give it a wait, and then
So
I should
that
have that
is
available phone
purchasing the
number,
phone
right?
number.
So let's just click
Number
on
is available
finish
now.
and then come back to the list of the phone numbers we have, and let us paste the phone number that we just got and see if it is now available in the list of the phone numbers that we have. Good. So now that we have it, we can here assign the number to that resource account by just checking this small box, this small circle here, and then come to edit, and then what you see is assign unassigned. So when we come to this point, we now need to look for the resource account that we want to give it to, and that resource account is pillar support. So I expect that to come up now, and then I'll just click on add. So I'll click on apply. So it means now that the resource account should now have phone number assigned as well as licensed, right? So if we may just come back to resource account here, we would see that, of course, it has already changed. This is pillar support AA, and it's showing that you have phone number 307 and it is licensed. Now, what is the next step? The next step is for us to create the call queue. So let's go to create the call queue. How do we do that? Right inside voice here, you see that we have call queues here. So we'll just click on call queues, and then we click on add. So the name of the call queue now, it matters that we give it a name, and it is Pillars Concept CQ. I mean Pillar Support CQ, right? Then the resource account that we are going to add to this, remember that we have it as Pillars Concepts. All right, that's the resource account. So we're just going to add it. And then the next thing we do is to click on add, right? So resource account has been added. So what is going to be the language of the call queue? So we are going to be using English, United States. Okay. Agents can make outbound call. Agents can make outbound call using the phone number on the following resource accounts. Yeah. So the same resource accounts is what we've just add here. Pillar support resource account. So they can make outbound call with it. So we just add. Okay, so and the language is English, so everything here is set. The next thing we do is to click on this, and then talking about greeting, we can add audio, but I just want us to put a greeting message, and I have typed the greeting message here before we started, so I'm just going to copy this and paste it there and paste it here. Okay, so saying thank you for calling Pillars Concepts. Your connection to exceptional service tag here. I think I want to remove this just to make it short. So please hold on while this here. I think this is fine by me. So let's just, for this other one, to music on hold, play default music if they are on hold. So choose a team. So this is where we add the team that we created, that we added those users. So I think it's Pillars support that we name that team. So it will just go to the pool of the teams that we have in the tenant and bring the Pillars concept, Pillars support queue. So we just click on add, and the channel that we want to add is a general channel. So we'll just click on apply. So the next thing is choose user. No, I'm using a team, right? So this is the conference mode. If I want to turn that on, I just leave it. Then this is this discuss about how the calls are going to be
So we
routed.
spent some
So
time here
if you
already.
want the call agent to pick up the call, get them to pick, then longest without getting call queue. So that's what this is. Haven't looked at that. So then we can just quickly look at this call agent alert time, 30 seconds per what's in call flow, maximum call that can get to
So we
somebody in
did
your
all of
organization.
this. Just want us
Depends
to.
on what you want to set. Then waiting for the agent to pick up the call. I mean, it depends on what you want to set. Phone number you can do apply setting only to new calls when call agents available. Hot support queue or call queue to be ready.
So I just want to
So what I
see.
want us to do is
So
to
it's
bring up
created.
one of the
We've done
users
this
that is a
already. So we
part
want
of
to do
that
a
team,
test call now.
of that call queue, and let's just refresh the user's account and see if it's going to have that team in his own teams, right? And see what's going to be available when we try to make the call and see if that call queue is now ready. So let's just click on the teams that this user belong. Remember that we added Adele to the group. So let's see. Let's see if we have pillars concept. Yeah, pillar support here. So if you come to the general channel here, go it. So you're going to see calls here. The reason is because we have configured that this user should be able to make call outside of the organization. So if she wants to make a call, she has option to select either calling by herself or calling from the call queue. This is something that is very important that you want to check, but let's move on first and let's just quickly see how a call that is coming to the call queue can ring Adele and other members of the team. It's going to be a bit rowdy this time, but just try to understand the concept, because once I place a call, then the call is going to ring and it's going to place a little bit of disturbance to you. So you may want to reduce your volume when the call starts ringing. So this is more that mean trying to call those one of their call queue, and the call queue should ring all the members of the team. Okay, so let's just quickly call this phone number. This is the number, right? Now, but remember that Adele, for example, has a phone number, and her phone number is 219, which is different from what we are going to call. That's what I want you to know. So even the other users as well, if you check, this is Evelyn, who is also a part of the team, and you see that his own phone number is ending with 67. So this is never in any way his phone number. That's what I want you to take note of. So let's look now and try to call this phone number and see what happens.
Thank you. Your connection to exceptional service starts here. Please hold the line, and one of our friendly support superheroes will be with you shortly.
So this is the call ringing Evelyn. Can you see Evelyn? If I take this to this point, you also see the call is ringing Adele as well at the same time. Can you see the calls coming in? So it's saying that more admin is calling you. So in all, this is how call queue is set up, and the agent can decide to call out from the call queue. If you like the content that you see, and if there's any confusion at all, you can let me know, and I'll be happy to give you the brief description and explanation to let you see how this works. So just to summarize before we wrap. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for your patience. So that is how it's supposed to work when or if we had the license. But in all of these, there is nothing really out of the ordinary, and there is nothing that we have not really explained, right? So if the only thing you need is just a trial account, just get your calling plan license, I mean your phone system resource account, and get like calling plan license for the users that are going to be member of the call queue, because before members can be of that call queue, there must be enterprise voice enabled. So you must need to give them phone system license and calling plan license. And if you have E5 trial, then you don't need phone system license. You only need to give them calling plan. So that is how sweet and how simple it is to set up. Like, I don't know how complex any call queue can be, but with what we've done today, if you go over the recording and watch this video I just displayed and share the link on the chat, you'll be able to configure any call queue. I can boast of that you'll be able to do it. So thank you very much. And even though we did like start playing recording on the call, but yeah, it's for the purpose of our complete understanding of the concepts. So maybe tomorrow we'll try and look at some troubleshooting that have to do with teams, because it is not, to set up is simple, but it is to discover where problems are coming from that are really like the real deal. Of course, those who do support know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's time for you to ask questions. I must quickly mention that if you've not subscribed to the channel from which we played this recording, please try and do that, because there are other contents too there that you will find useful, honestly. Yeah, so it's time for you to unmute your mic, ask your question, and Oyimafu, you have the mic now.
Okay, thank you, Joseph, for that wonderful section. It's question and answer time. So if you have a question, kindly unmute your mic and ask your question, or you could drop the question on the chat. Okay. The silence means that we all understood what was taught and there's no question.
I think we have some
Okay.
questions on the chat, Oyimafu.
Yeah. Those questions, one question was, please, do we have a license for resource center? For resource center, because I didn't see it on my Teams admin center.
Own system resource accounts. That is the license for resource
Okay.
accounts. You have to go for the you have to buy it. It is $00, but you need a card that will validate your identity.
Okay. So
If
that's the
you
only
want to say something.
Yes, not really. It's just a contribution. So just to draw their attention to it, that when they are buying the subscription, they might see phone system, and the one for this call queue and auto attendance is full system auto resource.
Resource accounts.
You understand? So we need
Yeah.
to, the two of them looks alike, boys, two different things.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Because that stuff, it used to be phone system virtual user or something. You remember that name that time? So
Yes.
yeah, so they changed it later. Thank you, Ife. So please, do we have license? Okay, that's the question. Is there any other one? There's no other question. Oyimafu, am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, you're correct. There's no other question.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ife, for your contribution. Are you available tomorrow?
I will discuss with you, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, thank you for your time.